I remember being really inspired about just what a big opportunity we have to influence our children right from the very beginning when I heard someone teaching on Moses. As a baby, Moses was hidden in a basket on the banks of a river to prevent him from being killed. He was found by the daughter of Pharaoh, who miraculously gave him back to his own mother to nurse him before taking him into Pharaoh's household. That time with his mother made a big impact. Whatever she said and did over that time appears to have formed a great foundation in Moses' life, like an imprint left on concrete that has hardened. When he was older, he chose the God of his parents over Pharaoh, and he spent his life serving God and rescuing his people from Egypt. My eyes were open to the significance of the opportunity we have, even when our children are very young. When I think about all that I hope and dream for my children in their lives, the things I would love them to see, experience, accomplish, and be, my biggest desire for my children is that they would put their faith in Jesus Christ and live a life following him. I want more than anything for them to know Jesus personally for themselves.
As parents, despite how it feels sometimes, we're the two people in this world who have the greatest opportunity to influence our children. There will be many influences in our children's lives over the years, and so there should be. But yours will be the strongest influence for many of those years. So how can we make the most of this opportunity we have to set our children up well to know and love Jesus? This is what we call discipleship. Sometimes we assume that it's the church's job to disciple. Surely if I send my child to church programs and I can just trust them with that. The truth is that we make the greatest impact in a child's life when church and home work together.
The story of Moses' early years inspired us to make the most of every moment and to begin thinking about what discipleship could look like from the very beginning. Not because we expected our 6-month-old baby to understand who Jesus is, but because we realised that everything we did would be building a foundation for faith in their lives.
One of the things we did with our children was to pick a psalm for each of them. We read it over them when they were still in the womb. And then when they were born, we would say it to them while we bathed them, changed nappies and put them to bed.
By the time our eldest was 2, she could recite it with us. We know that the Bible is powerful because it is living and active, and so we did these things trusting that one day they would reap a reward.
So much of the way Jesus discipled his followers was to model to them what their lives could and should look like. And when you think of that in the context of babies and young children, the things we model will be the things that they learn are normal.
I don't want our girls to think that Christianity is about religion. I want them to have a personal relationship with Jesus. We've tried to model from the very beginning what having a great relationship with Jesus looks like.
We've always been to church regularly as a family because we know that meeting with other followers of Jesus encourages us to keep going. We want our children to learn the habit of that.
We've made sure that prayer is an obvious part of our lives. Not only prayer for our children, which is hugely important, but also with our children. Modelling to them that when you have direct access to the creator of the universe, it makes sense to talk to him about everything.
What if we could train our children that the first response to a tough situation, a need, not knowing the answer, or even something great should be to pray?
We make sure our girls see us reading the Bible just to show them it's a priority. If your child wakes up early while you're trying to read, why not have a cuddle with them while you read out loud?
In the beginning, these things are not going to equal a personal faith in Jesus Christ for your children. But you are laying a great foundation for the future that will give them the best chance to believe for themselves as soon as they are old enough to understand. No amount of effort or determination on our part will make our children followers of Jesus. Rather, it is God working with and through us that makes this change. Make visibly living your faith part of the rhythm of your life. In the early days of your child's life, this might be more about training yourself to live like this than what your child is learning from it.
But as they grow, opportunities for discipleship moments will come thick and fast as you make living your faith part of the rhythm of your life.
For example, we had a moment recently when petrol prices had gone up and we were telling our girls that it was making money a bit tight. The next day we got a petrol voucher in the mail. You could see the faith growing on their faces because we included them in the journey.
Often you hear a child honour their parents on big milestones such as a big birthday or a wedding speech. It's not often that you hear them rave about devotionals done together, but very often you hear a child honour their parents for passing on their faith by displaying it so richly in their everyday life.
So why not make a commitment right now as new parents to begin to lay the most important foundation you will ever lay for your children, so that like Moses, the investment in these early years would produce fruit later on.